There was a man who could barely walk, not because his legs were broken, but because he was carrying something so heavy. It crushed him with every step. It was a bag filled with stones. Big ones, small ones, sharp ones. Each stone had a name. Betrayal, failure, rejection, humiliation, loss. People asked him, "Why don't you put it down?" And he would say, "I can't. This is who I am. This is my story." Until one day, someone asked him a different question. A question so simple, so devastating, that it didn't just make him drop the bag. It made him realize he'd been dying while still alive. This is a story about the past, about the invisible weight you might be carrying right now, and about the one decision that can set you free. His name was Samir, 42 years old, but he looked much older. Bent shoulders, tired eyes, and a face that had forgotten how to smile. He lived alone in a small apartment, worked a dead-end job, and had no one. People saw him and just thought, "That's a sad man." But they didn't know the truth. Samir wasn't always like this. 10 years ago, he was vibrant and successful. He owned a business, had a wife he loved, and a future that looked bright. But then, it all collapsed. His business partner betrayed him, stole money, and ruined the company. Samir lost everything. His savings, his reputation, his marriage. His wife left, unable to handle the shame and stress. And in the wreckage of his life, Samir made a choice that would haunt him for a decade. He decided to never forget. To never forgive. To carry the pain like a badge of honor. Every morning, he woke up and replayed the betrayal in his mind. Every conversation, every lie, every moment he was too blind to see the truth. He imagined confrontations that never happened and rehearsed speeches he would never give. He nurtured his anger like a garden, watering it daily with bitterness. And slowly, that anger became his identity. He wasn't Samir anymore. He was the man who was wronged. The man who was betrayed. The victim. And victims, he believed, had every right to suffer. One evening, after another exhausting day, Samir sat in a park. The sun was setting. Families were laughing. Children were playing. But Samir saw none of it. He was stuck in his head. Stuck in the past. An old man sat down beside him. White beard, simple clothes, calm eyes. He didn't say anything at first, just watched the sunset. Then, without looking at Samir, he asked, "What are you carrying?" Samir frowned. "What do you mean?" The old man pointed to Samir's chest. "In there." "What are you carrying?" Samir hesitated. "I don't know what you're talking about." The old man smiled. "Yes, you do. I can see it. The weight, it's crushing you." Samir felt something crack inside. His throat tightened. Someone hurt me. A long time ago, and I can't forget it. The old man nodded. "So you're carrying it?" "Yes," Samir whispered. "Every day." The old man was quiet for a moment. Then he said, "Can I tell you a story?" Samir shrugged. The old man began. Many years ago, two monks were walking through a forest. They came to a river, and at the riverbank stood a young woman, crying. She needed to cross, but was terrified of the water. The elder monk, without hesitation, picked her up and carried her across. He set her down on the other side, and the monks continued walking. Hours passed. The younger monk was silent and tense. Finally, he couldn't hold it in anymore. "How could you carry that woman?" he demanded. "We've taken vows. We're not supposed to touch women." The elder monk looked at him and said, "I put her down at the river. Why are you still carrying her?" Samir stared at the old man. The words hit him like a hammer. The old man continued, "You see, son, the past is like that woman. It happened. It was real. But it's over. You were supposed to put it down at the river. But instead, you've been carrying it for 10 years. And it's not hurting the person who wronged you. It's only hurting you." Samir's eyes filled with tears. "But how do I let go? He destroyed my life. He doesn't deserve forgiveness." The old man shook his head. Forgiveness isn't about what he deserves. It's about what you deserve. You deserve peace. You deserve freedom. You deserve to live again. But as long as you hold on to that pain, you're giving him power. He's not carrying your anger. You are. He's moved on. But you're still at the river. Still holding the woman, still refusing to let go. Samir broke. 10 years of pain came flooding out. He sobbed, not quietly, loudly, desperately. The kind of crying that empties you. The old man didn't comfort him. He just sat there, steady, present. When Samir finally stopped, he felt something strange. He felt lighter. Not fixed, but lighter. The old man stood up. Let me ask you something. If you could go back and change what happened, would you? Samir nodded immediately. Of course. The old man smiled. But you can't. So why are you spending your life trying? The past is unchangeable. But the future is wide open. And every moment you waste looking backward is a moment you lose moving forward. That night Samir couldn't sleep, but not because of anger. It was because of a profound realization. He had spent 10 years punishing himself for someone else's crime. He had built a prison out of memories and locked himself inside. The worst part, he was the only one suffering. His betrayer had moved on, built a new life, and likely forgotten about Samir entirely. But Samir, he had made that betrayal the very center of his existence, and it was killing him. The next morning, Samir did something he hadn't done in a decade. He wrote a letter, not to his betrayer. To himself, Dear Samir, I forgive you. I forgive you for trusting the wrong person. I forgive you for not seeing the signs. I forgive you for losing everything. I forgive you for the last 10 years of bitterness. You didn't deserve what happened, but you also don't deserve to keep suffering. Today, I'm putting it down. All of it. Anger, pain. The pain. The story I've been telling myself. I'm letting it go. Not because he deserves forgiveness, but because I deserve freedom. He folded the letter, and he burned it. As the paper turned to ash, he felt something he hadn't felt in years. Hope. If you feel like you're carrying a heavy past, remember you have the power to put it down. It's not about condoning what happened. It's about reclaiming your future. If this is something you're struggling with, talking to a mental health professional can make a world of difference. Your peace is worth fighting for. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more stories that inspire. Letting go didn't happen overnight. It wasn't a switch. It was a process. Some days were easy. Some days, the anger returned like an old friend, knocking on the door. But each time Samir made a choice. He chose not to open it. He chose to breathe, to remind himself. That was then. This is now. Slowly, life started to change. Not externally, but internally. Esmail Morat, he talked to strangers. He started painting, something he loved as a kid but abandoned. He didn't become rich. He didn't get revenge, but he got something better. He got himself back. Months later, someone asked him, "How did you move on?" Samir thought for a moment. Then he said, "I realized that holding on to the past is like drinking poison and expecting the other person to die. It doesn't work. It never works. The only person suffering is you." So I made a choice. I chose today over yesterday. I chose peace over revenge. I chose life over death. And that choice saved me. Here's the truth. Right now, you're carrying something. Maybe it's a betrayal, a failure, a loss, a regret. Something that happened years ago but still lives in your chest like a stone. And every day, you wake up and pick it back up. You replay it, relive it. Let it define you. But here's what you don't realize. The past doesn't care. The people who hurt you, they've moved on. They're not thinking about you. They're not suffering. You're the only one still at the river, still holding the weight. still refusing to let go. And I know what you're thinking, but they don't deserve to be forgiven. Maybe they don't, but you deserve to be free. Forgiveness isn't about them. It's about you. It's about choosing your future over their past. It's about refusing to let yesterday steal today. Because every moment you spend looking back is a moment you're not moving forward. And life, real life, is happening right now, not 10 years ago. Not in the what-ifs and if-onlys. Right here, right now. So put it down. The anger, the bitterness, the need to be right. The story you keep telling yourself about how you were wronged. Put it down. Not because it wasn't real, but because carrying it is destroying you. You were never meant to carry yesterday into today. You were meant to learn from it and leave it behind. The river is behind you. Stop carrying what you were supposed to let go. Your past is not your prison, unless you let it be. Let go, and finally, live.